everyone, my name is Xenia, and if you are here, you're probably interested in sustainability, zero waste, minimalism, and mental health. Welcome to my new video. Happy June, happy Pride. Check out my makeup. Looks kind of like a lesbian pride flag because I don't have any greens or blues in my palette. And I also have rainbow nails. Kind of pastel rainbow. Okay, so the video I have for you today is reacting to Am I the Asshole Reddit post about sustainability. Just to preface this, I did not read this in advance, so this is going to be live reaction. You know, I've seen many videos of people reacting about bridezillas or cheating or relationship, but I don't think I've seen anything about sustainability. So I just looked up AITA, sustainability, and boy, I think just based on some titles, I think it's going to be a hoot. So let's try. Am I the asshole for encouraging environmental responsibility in my office? Sounds good at the beginning, right? Because it's very nice to encourage sustainability. But let's see what Reddit has to say. I'm an early 20s new hire to meet to a large internet tech company HQ'd in the San Francisco Bay Area. There's about 500 people in this office, and I started here about a month and a half ago. Everything's going pretty well except the one nagging problem: single-use everything. That's annoying. I'm talking styrofoam cups, Java jackets, plastic utensils, canned water, etc. Canned water, I mean bottled water, probably. Yeah, that sucks. Every day I see people walking around with those waxy coated paper cups for coffee, water, juice, whatever. Due to their mixed nature, they can't be recycled, yet every day I see them piling up in the recycle bin. This kind of cups definitely wax on the inside with plastic, with polyurethane, so that they don't leak. I think in my country, in the Netherlands, it's possible to recycle them because we have a separate container for those kind of cups, because I think they're the same as Tetra Pak. Tetra Pak is what your juice, milk and stuff comes from. I'm wondering how they separate this, because it is definitely a mixed component material to recycle it. Let's continue. Yesterday, I took it upon myself to tape some simple paper signs on the cup area. They say, consider bringing your own reusable mug to the office. The wax-coated cups cannot be recycled. Our reliance on single-use items creates unnecessary garbage and furthers our dependence on plastic. Sounds good. Whenever I would drop in the kitchen, I saw people reading the little sign and felt super proud that I was making a difference. However, when I came in today, the signs upstairs where the HR people sit were all taken down. So I printed out more, again taken down within 2 hours. The HR people are responsible for ordering all the kitchen crap, so I suspect it's them. I would gladly talk to with HR about this, but I feel like since they're the ones ordering the shit, they are biased. I'm not sure where the reluctance is coming from. As the SF Bay Area, I feel like we should be held to higher standards of sustainability, especially as a mid-large company. Any company can do this. You'll be hard-pressed to find this much single-use garbage at any office around here. So, am I the asshole for being concerned about office sustainability? How should I resolve this? And Reddit voted them asshole. Them. I definitely don't think they are an asshole. I think this should be taken with HR in the first place. My company, I work corporate, and my company has a sustainability division, and they would gladly accept helping hand. We have facilities as well so not the HR, but facilities that are taking care of buying paper and all the materials. They are also selecting which suppliers we're using. They have been really intentional about making ensure that we use sustainable suppliers. We have fair trade, tea and coffee beans, and we also recycle the coffee, the leftover from the grounded coffee beans. You can take them home. They usually put it with an outtake home. It's good for your plants, it's good for your compost, and so on. And they even share the recipe of how to make a body scrub. So I definitely think that this person is not the asshole. There is an edit saying, "Alrighty guys, well I guess I'm the asshole here. I'll be going to HR to propose some new solutions to this problem. To everyone that believes sustainability is a serious problem, and that my passion for environmental responsibility is petty or immature or stupid, every time you pick up an object, a coffee cup, a takeout container, a fork, whatever, try to consider all the resources I used to create that object. Did it come from a factory? Well, it's shipped here in the container. Was it shipped here on a container ship from China? This is made of materials that never break down. Now think of its ultimate destination. Are you going to keep it forever? Are you even going to use it for a day, or is it destined for the landfill?" Just fun, just some food for thought. I'm disappointed we don't share the same views, but I hope I can make an impact on the way people view objects. Wow, I think this is amazing. I definitely agree with the OP. So let's see what the comments say. So they're calling him the YTA. You should have cleared with HR. Okay. Passive aggressive. Yeah, I think this is one of the critics to people who are vegan, plant-based, or care about sustainability, is that we come across as preachy, trying to be greater than other people, saying that, I don't eat animals because I don't want to eat flesh. I definitely came across people like that, but I think that this person actually sounds concerned and quite knowledgeable. I think a sign is a good start, because if it actually makes people think about it, it's great. But then if the sign is being tossed, it's clearly that the message is not getting across. So instead of wasting more paper, try to start a digital campaign with the help of HR, with the help of facilities, and I think that it's going to be great. Moving on. Next one. Am I the asshole for not wanting to subsidize my roommate's green in quotes lifestyle choices? Hi Reddit I22F. I hate this, as someone who is non-binary, I'm not going to read if someone, I don't think gender matters in most of the context here. Maybe it matters when it comes to relationship, I don't know, but definitely not for sustainability, so I'm just not going to read this aloud anymore. So the OP recently moved to Denver and found a roommate, Ella, to share a cozy 2-bedroom apartment. They clicked instantly, bonding over hikes, local brews, going to the same concerts, etc. Things were smooth until the green changes began. Let's see what kind of changes they were. Ella attended a sustainability workshop a month ago, and ever since she's been on a mission to make our apartment as eco-friendly as possible. Commendable. I'm all for helping the environment, but some of your suggestions have been a stretch for my budget, and it seems like it's just getting started. For instance, before we go, a thing about sustainability and green choices, especially things that require the whole, governmental policy and societal change, are long-term. So you can't just flip the switch and, close off all the, nuclear plants and only have solar and other renewable sources of energy, while nuclear is also renewable technically. A lot of changes take time. At the same time, I don't think they should be expensive, because one of the most important things about sustainability is use what you have. Use what you have, mend it repaired, go without, and recycle. It's kind of afterthought, because recycling system is not ideal. So what does the roommate want? She wants to install solar panels on our small balcony to generate power, even though it's a rented apartment. I mean, it depends how much it costs. I know that there are subsidies for solar panels, and sometimes you can rent them instead of buying them. So I think that should be cheaper. Okay, this seems like a major change. Let's see what other things are. Instead of buying bottled water, which she used to do, I always drink tap, Ella got a premium water filtration system. Okay, I mean, that's an expensive thing, and it's actually probably very good for your skin as well, because if the water is too heavy or too soft, it can affect your skin health, your hair health. I think just having a regular filter that you put on top of the tap, or you just pour water. That's what I used to do when I lived in Russia. The water is safe to drink, but it smells like chlorine. So you would pour from tap into the filter, and then let the filter out, and the smell would go away, and it would be cleaner. She's completely banned paper towels from the apartment, buying a bulk of reusable cloth rags instead. Cloth rags are one of. Instead of using plastic or foil, she bought expensive beeswax wraps we saw on TikTok. Girl, these wraps were popular before TikTok, and they are quite useful. They can be made from beeswax, so they can be vegan as well, made from plant-based wax. She started making her own toothpaste, deodorant, and even shampoo. She bought ingredients in bulk. Okay, I've been there, done that. The roommate sounds like she just hopped on this. She's very passionate about this, and yeah, making your own toothpaste, deodorant, and shampoo is something that you can definitely do. There are recipes out there. I think I even have some of the recipes in my YouTube shorts. It's a personal choice, so I think the roommate shouldn't make their roommate be like, okay, so now you can use make your own deodorant. The roommate doesn't have to, the one who doesn't want to make significant changes can still use whatever they want. If you want to do it, go ahead, make your own stuff. Just don't push it on other people who are not welcome to the change. Lead by example. So if this shampoo and deodorant and toothpaste are working well for you, maybe your roommate will see, oh my gosh, you look amazing, I want this too. Shampoo bar is great for your hair. It lathers very well as well. I love it. It's so good for travel. Making your own toothpaste. I think I have a video about zero waste swaps that I didn't like, and I think one of them is making your own toothpaste. Not worth it. I would not recommend. All this would be fine and dandy, the OP continues, but she expects me to cheat for all of this extra cost. Even now, she never asked me about them. She gave me a list of all the green costs for the month, and even included the bulk DIY ingredients. When I asked her about that one, she said basically, oh yeah, that's on there because obviously you can use them too. I tried explaining that while I support her green initiative, I can't always split the cost for every new idea she has. Makes sense. This led to an argument why she called me financially short-sighted and said if I lived elsewhere, I'd be paying more anyway, which is kind of true, since we got a really good deal on our place, and rent is courageous here. I never heard this about rent. Rent is courageous. Maybe outrageous? Now, our mutual Denver friends are kind of split. A few think I might be being stingy or not forward-thinking, but several agree with me and believe Ella is imposing her lifestyle on me. I think so. So Reddit, am I the asshole for resisting some of these green changes due to financial concerns? Right. Reddit said that she's not, they are not the a-hole. I tend to agree. I think that if the roommate wants to make changes, which are their individual choices, definitely go ahead. When I was trying my own toothpaste and stuff like that. My partner was supportive, but did I make him use the toothpaste I made? No. If he wanted to, he can try. And now we found the brand of zero waste toothpaste that we both love, so we use it together. So I do think that the poster is not the a-hole, but I think they should just have an honest conversation and say, look, I think what you're doing is amazing. It's just that when you say I can use some of the things too, what if I don't want to? Or for example, I have specific toothpaste I have to use or something like that, you know. It's also weird that I don't know how some people split their living costs with their roommate, but when I had roommates in my dorms at the university, we had our separate fridge shelves and we bought food separately, and the only thing I think we did together was just like make sure we have toilet paper in the toilet, and that was it. The rest was split. So I don't think that the poster has to, you know, chip in for most of the things. And again, there are much cheaper alternatives and sustainable things that the green roommate can do. Change their diet, invest into high quality pieces, and stop using fast fashion, and so on. For energy savings, for example, plug out the devices that they are not using. So it's there are many easy ways to be sustainable and still save money. So I think the roommate definitely is in the wrong here, even for the good reason. Kind of links to the previous post that environmentalists are sometimes described to be as too pushy and that they want to impose their lifestyle on other people, and that's just not right. And to editorial details. So this didn't cross my mind when I was writing this originally, but after reading the comments, it feels important. I need to add that technically she did ask me about most of the changes, but she asked it in a way that felt kind of manipulative. The beeswax wraps, for example. She showed me the TikTok video, asked me what I thought about them, and then asked me what I thought about that if she got some to use in the apartment instead of saran wraps. But I really feel like it was worded as like, do you mind if I use this? Do you have a problem with this? Not, what do you think about investing in this with me? She certainly didn't ask this outright, but it obviously put me in a weird position. Agreed. Very, very good point. Yeah, go ahead and use them. You know, be a good roommate and allow your roommate to try it out. And if the roommate loves it, wow, you're both sustainable. Perfect. If the roommate doesn't like it, no worries. You can also use, you know, glass jars to store some stuff. Not necessarily beeswax wrap. You know, I like beeswax wrap for cucumbers, half avocados, stuff like that. Very nice. And we store cheese in it as well. That's it. I mean, it's perfect. I think this is archived, but I still can see some comments. Not the asshole. Also, she doesn't get to ban paper towels, so making later changes to your apartment. It's also relevant. Like, she can stop buying paper towels for herself. You can still use them, but you know. Let's go to the next one. Alright, the next story. Am I the asshole for being frustrated at my boyfriend for not helping our household be environmentally friendly? So my boyfriend of 3 years moved into my house a little over 3 months ago. Everything has been going great besides one minor thing. I've always been environmentally conscious and I hate throwing things out that can be reused. My boyfriend, however, does not share the same values as me and is growing frustrating on me. Understandably. I shop at a minimal waste store and use glass jars to fill with flour, sauces, etc. So whenever I use something from a jar, like spaghetti, sauce, or mustard, I always clean it out and save the jar. I do not put the cleaning burden on my boyfriend and simply ask him if he's using a jar or something, just leave it in the sink for me to clean and reuse. He can even clean it. I keep all cardboard boxes as this helps me with the groceries, gifting things, or storing things in. If anything comes in wrapped plastic or just brown paper, I save it to use as gift wrap instead of purchasing it. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. I do this as well. The only thing is, if you have a small apartment, you're going to run out of space. We have a big house and we have enough of place to store all of our glass jars, but still I can understand that it can get out of hand. At some point I stopped saving the glass jars. I still try to buy everything in glass, but it's just getting too much. It's getting out of hand. Even though I reuse them constantly in storing bulk and spices and making my own jams and pickles and everything, I still have so many because I keep reusing them, so they are staying there unless you break them. Anyway, my boyfriend is aware of all these habits and I have, and he respects me, often saying he wishes he could be more eco-friendly like me. I think living with you is already eco-friendly. But for some reason, he never leaves these items for me. He culled a bunch of clothes during the move. I told him I was taking it to our local charity, just ask him to bring it back with a load to our house. But it never turned up. I asked him if it was still at this old house, and he had put it in the communal bin in the apartment basement to save him the hassle of taking it to the new house. We got a new vacuum delivered a couple weeks ago that came in loads of cardboard boxes that he just ripped up. I mean, you can recycle them, put them in the compost. I'm just constantly finding things in the recycling bin as I'm taking it out that I could reuse. I ask him, "Why'd you throw out this glass jar?" He just says, "Oh, I forgot." Okay, I'm not liking this boyfriend of yours, to be honest, because it's clear that you care about these things, and not even asking this person to contribute as much, mostly just determine whether things should be tossed or can be reused, and he's not getting it. We ended up getting into a fight last night because he made lasagna and used 3 glass jars. I came home and enjoyed the dinner. We had a few drinks. Afterwards, I went out to the recycling bin to get rid of our wine bottles and found the 3 glass jars he used in the recycling bin, 2 of which were smashed. I came back, this can still be recycled. I came back and reminded him again to please save this stuff for me because it not only helps the environment but saves me money. And he instantly got angry that he had made a nice dinner and all I care about is the freaking glass jars, which is not the truth. I completely get this brain is wired differently to me. I instantly think to myself, can I upcycle it? You're amazing. Recycle it or reuse this item before putting it in the waste. But he doesn't think like that and I accept that. I know I'm not going to change the world with the little things I do, but it matters to me that I try and don't contribute to the problem. Is it really that difficult for someone to remember this? How hard is it for him to try? Please tell me if I'm being unreasonable. Am I the asshole? I don't think you're the asshole. I think your boyfriend is, because unlike the roommate situation in the previous post, you're again not imposing the lifestyle. It's just a courtesy and the smallest sliver of effort for him to remember and just be like, okay, this is glass, right? Maybe I shouldn't toss it, and also, he's not a child. He can't just forget. Okay, you can forget once or twice, but if it's constantly happening, I just think he doesn't care about what your values are, and it's very sad because I think that's important for the relationship. with friends, or with platonic or romantic relationship, I think it's important to share some values, and this is why my partner always asks me if I want to keep a box, always asks me if I want to keep the glass jar. At some point I was like, I had to give him a heads up saying, I decided to stop keeping glass jars, let's just recycle them, and that's it. Now he doesn't leave them for me, but before he did, he would watch them too. So, it's upsetting, to be honest. I think you're not the asshole. However, Reddit says that everyone is an asshole in the situation, everyone sucks. Now you don't accept that he doesn't want to keep all these jars and boxes, it become clutter after a while. He recycles, you reuse. Either you accept him how he is or break up. You can't, either you accept his mistreatment of you or you break up. You can't expect him to live with clutter, and he can't expect you to stop reusing everything. Okay, like I said when I was reading, it can get out of your hand. But it seems to me that the original poster actually has a pretty good handle on what and how they are reusing. If you have boxes, you can keep them in, you can fold them. First of all, you can keep them inside each other. If you have this brown paper, fold it in to be reused. Sheets of fabric can be reused. If the clothes not good enough to be donated or sold, you can always make rags and make a good mop out of it. I think that it's not absolutely wrong to have this lifestyle. It's just that this person doesn't want to share this lifestyle, and I don't think that the person is imposing it on their boyfriend. I think it's just as an do a small effort for me and don't toss it out. You can always recycle together. Clutter is possible, and I understand that if they live in a small apartment, it could be an issue. And this should be discussed without blowing up and saying, oh, your jars, blah, blah, blah. Like, your partner obviously cares about these jars. Keep them. If they're getting out of hand, tell them. Don't toss them. That's my opinion. Let me know in the comments what you think. Okay, I got 3 more. Am I the a-hole for making my kids live green? Our kids are very passionate about green living. So the kids are teenagers, 16 and 15. My husband and I support them and are trying to instill in them respect for nature and the importance of environmental balance. The Roosevelt used gently and conserve approach. Never heard about it. I guess it's like post-war, like war mentality. Which is also what my grandparents grew up and my parents grew up on, so I totally get it. The kids came home from summer camp a few weeks ago. A famous actor visited their camp, saying every American has to reduce emissions by 66% to prevent global catastrophe. Yeah, of course, let's put the responsibility for reducing emissions that individuals are not barely responsible for to the individuals instead of corporations. He minimizes his footprint with a private jet, yachts, and full mansions. The kids started acting out, even bullying friends and family about their lack of environmental action. Again, that's not good. After our son keyed a friend Mustang, oh my lord, and our daughter tried to cover for it, my husband and I came up with a learning experience. We had the kids come up with an energy budget that cut their emissions by 66%. We drive a Chevy Bolt, oh, that's an electric car, and have electric appliances, so it was easy to find most of our carbon consumption. We told the kids that if they can reduce their emissions 66% until school starts, we'll cut our consumption the same way. They were excited to agree. I guess it's a fun challenge, but even the celebrity given bad example by flying with a private jet. And even private jets don't contribute as much as, for example, heavy industry, mining, and so on. Driving to Karachi consumes their car budget, so they have to walk anywhere else. or cycle or take a bus. I mean, just adding there, I don't know how in the US this works. They only get 3 hours of AC a day if they want AC at night. They reuse their clothes twice before laundering. Laundering. They can't have meat. Most of the food they eat is either cold or room temperature veggies. Cooking takes a lot of power, so it's either that or they give up computers, TV, and smartphones. That's rough. You know, turning your children into raw vegetarians is kind of harsh. Honestly, we are letting them fudge on power quite a bit because the fridge and AC leave nothing left for any other electrical things. They've cut down about 30 emissions in actuality, 30%. Being kids, they didn't think the sacrifices through, and even brag the cuts would be permanent. But surprise, without the car, they can't escape green living, and I work from home, so they can't fake their living conditions. They lasted 2 days before wanting the old way of these things again. We told them that they deserved it for being hypocritical over sacrifices they won't make for themselves, bullying and damaging other properties. Yeah, that makes sense. That you can't lead by example, don't bully, and definitely don't damage other people's property. They will just go and buy a new one, and that's exactly the opposite of what we want. We told them whenever they bully or act out over their self-imposed emission restriction will help them get closer to their 66% goal for the rest of the summer. Of course, they immediately complained on Facebook, so they are 3% closer to emissions target without internet, computers, and phones. Many people, especially family who got bullied, support us. Some think we're being anti-environment, and my mother-in-law and father-in-law in particular are very firm that we're being assholes that are trying to rally people against us. We had an anonymous family services house call with info on my mother-in-law, only info my mother would know. Okay, so she called her. The in-laws called on you. My husband and I grew up on a farm, so there's nothing we're doing to our kids that is out of the ordinary for how we grew up. Are we assholes for making our kids live the way they were telling everyone else to live? Exactly. Live what you preach first, and then be all high and mighty. I think you taught them a lesson. I think it was a bit rough, huh? And I think it was a little bit of like a challenge and a punishment, so I don't think that's that bad. And Reddit agreed with me, saying that not the a-hole sounds like a creative punishment. Exactly. You're giving them some very nice lessons about empathy, as well as feeding them some humble pie in a demonstrative way. I don't think you're abusing or neglecting them either. If they can make some of these changes. And again, I said you shouldn't quit cold turkey. And to be honest, I don't think that this much emissions come from just using your electricity. I think a lot of emissions mostly come into making all these things like laptop and phone and stuff like that. So saying like, okay, you have to have this phone for 4 years until you get an upgrade, or, you know, until it really, really stops working, and then get a refurbished one or secondhand one. That's the way to reduce the emissions, not by using it 5 minutes a day. Although I guess it's kind of helpful for teenager psyche. Next one. Am I the a-hole for telling these girls that eat fake meat is no better than real meat for the environment? Sorry, this post was deleted by the person who originally posted it. It is not your opinion, but it is fact that eating meat is quite bad for the environment, especially if it's cow, pig, and pig, because of the emissions. And honestly, a lot of the emissions also come from deforestation that takes up, that needs the land to grow the cows and to grow soy to feed the cows. I'm not saying that fake meat is better for you in terms of health, because it's also processed food. But then, is it better for the environment? Probably yes, because emissions to grow soya, especially if it's locally grown soya, is much less than having soy grown in Brazil and then meat grown in Brazil and then being shipped to your country, or in the US. US is number one producer. US, New Zealand, Brazil are top producers of, I think, beef for sure. So it's definitely much more emissions associated with industrial production of meat rather than industrial production of plant-based meat. You don't have to eat plant-based meat. I like it sometimes, like on a grill, but I just like tofu, I like tempeh, I like veggies, I like beans. You can make vegan dishes absolutely without any animal proteins, and it will be delicious. Last one. Let's go ahead. Am I the a-hole for telling my environmentalist friend to shut up? Okay, I mean, yeah, some people can get carried away, especially if it's their special interest or a degree they have. But okay, this girl and I have mutual friends at uni. We will call her Raquel. Rachel? Raquel. How do you spell Rachel? And what's the difference between Rachel and Raquel? The other day, a group of friends asked my friend group and her friend group if we all wanted to go to the city in our country and just hang out. My friend group doesn't really like Raquel's friends, and the feeling is mutual. We're all nice to each other, but just don't like to hang out together, so most of my friends decide not to go, but I decided to because I hadn't seen the city yet, and I figured I could put up with her and your friends for a day. So you're going to a city. So we get to the city and everyone's like, what do you guys want to do? And someone mentions that this city has the country's biggest zoo. So we can go there. We travel there, and when we're about to enter, Raquel goes, guys, I'm sorry, I don't support zoos, so I'm just going to chill out here. And we're all like, dude, okay, whatever, but like, couldn't you have told us that before we traveled here, and then we could have done something all together? So we decide not to go to the zoo. I mean, you don't have to. You can still go. Raquel can wait. We then go to the shopping district, and we all go to the inside Zara. And Raquel goes, I'm just going to sit out here, and everyone's quiet. And she says, it's fast fashions, but for the environment. As an environmentalist, I just can't support big companies like this, so we'll go inside, and she sits outside. Makes sense? When my friends are shopping, and I go to Zara, I go with them. I just don't buy anything. I don't think the shop gets money from me being there. Just don't touch anything. And I have my friend buy things if they want. It's just, I know we do make life choices. It's just that we can't impose them on other people. And yeah, I think it's fine that Raquel would just wait it outside. I don't think what's the problem here. Okay, it happens with a couple of other shops as well. As an environmentalist, I just can't support this shop, sorry. I'll stay here, the shop is so bad for the environment. We get it, Raquel. Just go somewhere else. We then decide to get food. So broke uni students, we decide to go fast food. Raquel says, oh, I'm a vegetarian, I'll just go get other food. And I said, oh, don't worry, I'm vegetarian too, this place has heaps of veggie options. And then she just goes, sorry, but as an environmentalist, I can't support fast food. Okay, I know it's a bit hard. As a vegetarian, I sometimes have to go to get separate places because some places like KFC in my country haven't had vegetarian options for, the only thing I could eat there for a very long time was fries and corn. That's it. Now we have like vegetarian strips, which are pretty good. But before, like, if my boyfriend wanted to go, I was like, okay, get me corn on the cob, I guess. Or I would just make something my own. I would just go and get a bowl, like a sushi bowl or something like that. At this point, I'm kind of annoyed. So I kind of blow up and say, look, we get you an environmentalist, but not shutting up about everything we do and how bad it is for the environment is really getting on my nerves. So please just go out, go get your other food. We went here. She walked off seemingly fine. She probably wasn't though, and everyone was calling me an asshole. No one else seems bothered by the fact that she mentioned the environment so many times. What I said was probably quite rude, and I understand where she's coming from with all the environment stuff. I don't know, she's just trying to help, but I do know she's just trying to help, but I was also just trying to enjoy my day without getting told how bad everything I did was. Everything we do is bad, so I don't think you checking out some shops, going to the zoo. I have, mixed opinions about the zoo, but everything we do in a system that's inherently based on capitalism, colonialism, and racism, sexism is going to be wrong. Boycotting things works, but you can't impose it on other people. You can say, Raquel could have been so much more tactful, being like, oh, actually, I'm not kind of feeling this. Do you mind if I go get this thing? Easy peasy. And she could be, what about, why don't we try this cute vegan cafe around the corner? Looking up, on Google Maps. Why don't we check out this local Chinese food restaurant, because there are a lot of vegetarian options there and you can support local business. I don't know how it works in the US. I don't know which country they're in. So the price of fast food differs from country to country. And in the Netherlands, for example, fast food is extremely expensive, and sometimes it's much cheaper to use a small business. In Russia, for example, where I'm from, fast food is cheap, but also is other food. So there is always choice. You can always go to more local, or maybe a different chain if you don't want to support McDonald's for some reason. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So again, even if you're personally boycotting, or even want other people to boycott, don't say it in the spur of the moment like that. Just say maybe after or before saying, oh, by the way, I don't really feel comfortable going into the zoo. Do you want to do something else? Or, you know what, I'm gonna stay and go to the volunteer to the animal shelter, or I'm gonna go on a thrift shop crawl, and you go to the zoo. Perfect. Anyway, TIDR, I guess it's the edit. My mutual friend kept telling us how bad everything we did, shopping, going to the zoo, eating fast food, was for environment, and so I told her to please shut up, so am I the a-hole? Yeesh. So everyone sucks, they say. I think there are no a-holes here. I think there was miscommunication. Maybe I'm too nice, I don't know. I just if I deal with confrontation, I do prefer to do it very very tactfully. And had I been the OP, I would have just said, Raquel, can you come here for a second? Just need to tell you something. Listen, I don't think that the team is like having real fun because they're not participating, and you just wait outside, and I understand, but we kind of feel bad if you say something is really bad and then using child labor, and we kind of feel bad. So do you want to suggest what we can do together, which is good for the environment, or do you want to just be kind of like this? Don't explode on someone, and maybe don't call them out in front of, unless it's the behavior that calls for being called out, like racist or sexist behavior. You should be like, that's not okay. Caring about the environment is okay. Being high and mighty about this is not okay. So just call it out and say, but in a cool manner. I know it's annoying, and you can be and you are so happy being like, oh, I'm vegetarian too, so we can still eat there. My treat, or I don't know, this could have been handled well by both of the people. Doesn't mean both of them are the a-holes. I don't think so. They're just people with feelings. So I don't think so. Am I too soft? Please let me know what you think, and let me know if you really like this, if you like this kind of format of a video. I personally enjoy watching the AITA videos, so let me know. And as all YouTubers and vloggers are supposed to say, please like this video and subscribe. Bye!